Hello everyone, my name is Nadine, and today I'm going to share how I became a successful author. So, what does daily life look like for an author? I love being a writer because as a writer, it gives me a lot of time to myself for me to act creatively and do whatever I like actually. It's a very freeing job and it's very open-ended, and I can usually have a lot of time for writing each day, and then for the rest of the day I can just do whatever I want, which is very good for me because I have way too many hobbies and I would like some time for me to do other stuff other than writing while also pursuing my career as a writer. So usually I start the day with some easy writing and some planning for my day, and then I go off for some exercise, I'd say, and then afterwards I just do my day depending on what I feel like. And then in the evenings, usually after a cup of tea, I usually sit down and start writing, and then after 2 or 3 hours I have something, and then I can continue on with my day and maybe go cook some dinner or something like that. And so of course it didn't always look like this for me. So when we're young, we're taught by others, by our parents mostly, and teachers of course, that we have to choose something sustainable. The so-called best professions would often include being a doctor or a lawyer. I'm sure we've all heard at some point in our lives that we should be a doctor, be a lawyer, be something that would be sustainable for our future and be good for our future. But I wanted to share how I broke out of that. Well, actually I didn't. So around 10 years ago, when I was in high school, I actually studied for med. I was going for med in that direction, and I actually went for that in college. I got into a very good college and I studied med for my college years instead of writing, as you would think. So during that time, that was a very tough time for me because as you probably know, med is a very hard subject, and studying that, there were many difficulties for me, and there was not a lot of time for me to focus on my writing. So I would just be able to write maybe once a week or so. But something that really helped me during that time was keeping a journal or like a document of some sort, that where I could write down any ideas that I had, and then when I had time I could go back to that and see if I wanted to pursue that idea. And that's actually how I came about my first book. So the first book for a writer is a very important thing because the first book is how you actually know that's something you want to pursue. So my first book is a fictional book. It's actually part of a trilogy. So that was actually very interesting for me to write and pursue while I was doing med. So that was a difficulty because med didn't leave a lot of time for me. So it actually took like 1 year for me, around 1 year, to finish the first draft, not even edited or anything. Nobody had read it, just me. So yeah, that was a big challenge. So time management as well, because my time management is not really already that good. So I had to battle time management for my schoolwork as well as writing. So that was a very big challenge. Another issue with being an author now is the pay, honestly. So it's not really that stable, as it is more of a creative job and less of that kind of stable job. So why did I choose to become an author even after I went to med? So during my time in college, when I was studying med, I realized while I was studying that while it was interesting, I found that creative writing was really more engaging for me, and it was more creative, and it made me happier when I was writing. And that was actually how I found my calling. So a calling is often something more like a feeling and not like some logical choice. So I wanted to tell you that you shouldn't define your success by how much money you have, but rather this feeling. And for a writer, my definition of success was that feeling. So that feeling when I published my first book, and it was in like this physical copy, and I held it in my hands, and I felt that in that moment that I was successful because I had an actual product of this book and an actual product. It felt real, and yeah, thank you.